What would you do if your phone started ringing from your own pocket while you were holding it in your hand? That's exactly what happened to Liam Carter one ordinary night. But when he answered the second phone, he realized the call wasn't coming from a stranger. It was coming from himself. What happened next will keep you awake tonight. Liam Carter was sitting alone in his apartment on a quiet night. The room was dim, lit only by the soft glow of his phone screen. He was scrolling through social media, half asleep, when suddenly his phone started ringing. The loud sound made him jump. He looked at the screen. It said unknown caller. Liam frowned. It was almost midnight. Who would call him at this hour? He hesitated for a moment, but then picked up the call. "Hello," he said softly. There was no answer. Only silence. Then he heard it, a slow, heavy breathing sound on the other end. His heart started to beat faster. "Who is this?" he asked, his voice shaking a little. The breathing continued. Liam quickly ended the call and tossed the phone on the table. He laughed nervously to himself, thinking maybe it was just a prank. But then something strange happened. He felt a vibration in his pocket. Liam froze. Slowly, he reached into his jeans pocket and his fingers touched something cold and smooth. He pulled it out and stared in shock. It was a phone. Not just any phone. It was exactly like his own, same model, same color, even the same cracks on the back cover. And it was ringing. Liam's mouth went dry. He looked at the phone on the table, his phone, and then at the one in his hand. Both were his phones. But how? The ringing grew louder. His hands were trembling now. He didn't want to answer, but something inside told him he had to. With shaking fingers, Liam slid his thumb across the screen and lifted the phone to his ear. "Hello," he whispered. There was a pause. Then a deep, distorted voice said, "You shouldn't have answered." Liam's hand shook as he held the strange phone to his ear. The voice was deep, rough, and sounded broken, like it was coming through a bad signal. "You shouldn't have answered," the voice repeated slowly. Liam's heart pounded in his chest. "Who are you? What do you want?" he asked, trying to sound brave, but his voice cracked. The voice gave a short, dry laugh. Then it said something that froze Liam's blood. "I can see you, Liam." Liam jumped up and spun around, scanning the room. The curtains were closed, the door locked. He was alone, or at least he thought so. "What do you mean? How do you know my name?" he whispered. The voice spoke again, calm and cold. Blue t-shirt, gray sweatpants, sitting on the old brown couch. "Am I right?" Liam looked down at his clothes. His mouth went dry. He didn't answer. The voice chuckled softly. "Don't bother looking for me. You won't find me." Liam felt sweat on his forehead. He grabbed his real phone from the table and quickly opened the camera app, pointing it around the room. Nothing. No movement. No shadow. "Listen," Liam said, his voice shaking now. If this is a joke, it's not funny. The voice ignored him and kept talking. Do you know why I called you? Liam swallowed hard. No. Because you belong to me now. The line went dead. Liam stood frozen, staring at the phone in his hand. His own reflection stared back from the black screen. The room felt smaller, like the walls were closing in. He put the phone on the table and stepped back. Then, the phone buzzed again. A text message appeared. It said, "Turn around." Liam's heart was racing as he read the message on the screen. Turn around. His body froze. Slowly, he turned his head, scanning the dark room. Nothing. No movement. Just the quiet hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen. He looked back at the phone. Another message appeared. You can't escape yourself. What does that even mean? Liam whispered. His hands were trembling now. He placed both phones on the table side by side. His real phone and the other one. They looked identical. Same model. Same scratches. Same wallpaper. A picture of Liam and his sister at the park. This is crazy, he muttered, picking up his real phone. He typed a message to his friend, "Call me now. It's urgent." Then he hit send. Before he could even blink, the same message appeared on the second phone. Delivered. Liam stared in shock. No, 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 no. He tested it again. He opened his notes app and typed, "Help me." The letters appeared on both screens at the same time, perfectly synced. How is this possible? Liam whispered. His breath was shallow now, his palms sweating. Suddenly, a notification popped up on the second phone. Not from him this time. A new message. Stop trying. I already know what you'll do next. Liam stumbled back, nearly tripping over the edge of the rug. Who are you? He yelled at the empty room. The second phone vibrated again. Incoming call. From Liam Carter. Liam stared at the screen, his own name flashing in bold letters. His heart thumped in his ears. Both phones began ringing at the same time, loud and sharp, filling the silent apartment with an unbearable sound. He wanted to run. He wanted to throw the phones out of the window. But before he could move, a voice spoke from behind him. Don't hang up. The voice behind him made Liam freeze. His breath caught in his throat. Slowly, he turned his head toward the sound. No one was there. The empty room stared back at him, silent and dark. His hands were shaking so badly that he almost dropped both phones. The ringing suddenly stopped. The sudden silence felt even worse than the sound. Who said that? Liam whispered. His voice cracked. The lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then the entire room went dark for a split second before coming back on. Liam's heart raced. He spun around, scanning every corner. Still nothing. The second phone buzzed. A new message appeared. Look behind you. Liam's throat went dry. His body stiffened. Slowly, with every muscle trembling, he turned around again. At first, he saw nothing. Then his eyes caught something strange, a shadow crawling across the wall. It moved like a living thing, twisting and stretching, though there was no one to cast it. It slid across the ceiling and stopped in the far corner of the room, pulsing like it was breathing. Liam stumbled backward, his foot hitting the coffee table. The second phone started ringing again, louder this time, almost like an alarm. The sound pierced his ears. He picked it up with trembling hands and pressed it to his ear. "Please, just tell me what you want," he shouted. The voice came, calm and cold, almost amused. "I told you not to answer." Then something grabbed his ankle. Liam screamed and looked down. For a split second, he saw a black hand, long and thin like smoke, wrapping around his leg. He kicked hard, and it vanished into thin air. The voice on the phone spoke again, whispering slowly. "You can't fight me, Liam. You're already mine." The lights flickered again, then went out completely. The room was in total darkness. Liam could only hear his own heartbeat, loud and uneven. He fumbled on the table, searching for his real phone to turn on the flashlight. Finally, he found it and switched on the light. The white beam cut through the darkness, but the room looked different. The walls seemed closer, the ceiling lower, like the apartment was shrinking. Then he felt it again, a vibration in his pocket. Liam froze. He reached into his jeans and pulled out the second phone. He stared at it with wide eyes. "No, I threw you away," he whispered. He clearly remembered tossing the second phone across the room before the lights went out. But now here it was, back in his pocket. The screen lit up. Incoming call. Liam Carter. His heart dropped. His own name flashing on the screen. He looked at the other phone in his hand, same thing. Both phones ringing at the same time, the sound growing louder and louder until it felt like the walls were shaking. Liam covered his ears, but the ringing didn't stop. It was inside his head now. A voice began whispering in the middle of the noise, soft but clear. "Why are you running? You can't run from yourself." "No, no, get out of my head," Liam shouted, throwing both phones across the room. They hit the wall, screens cracking, but instantly, the ringing returned. The phones were back in his hands, cold and heavy. He dropped them again. They came back. Again. And again. Each time, louder than before. Liam felt his knees, gripping his head, screaming. "Please. What do you want from me?" The whisper turned into a deep laugh. Then the voice said, "Open your eyes, Liam. You're not where you think you are." The light flickered on and off. For a second, Liam saw something in the mirror across the room. His reflection was smiling. Liam's breath came in quick, shaky gasps as his eyes locked on the mirror across the room. The faint light flickered again, and for a moment, he swore he saw something wrong, something terrifying. His reflection was smiling. Liam wasn't smiling. His lips were trembling, his face pale with fear. But the man in the mirror grinned. Slowly. Wide. Too wide. No, 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 Liam whispered, stepping closer to the mirror as if to check his own eyes. His heart hammered in his chest so loudly it hurt. Stop it, he yelled at the reflection. But the reflection only smiled wider, showing too many teeth. Then it moved. Liam froze. The reflection stepped forward, but Liam didn't. His body stayed still, yet the man in the mirror walked toward the glass like it was a doorway. "WH, what are you?" Liam stammered, backing away. The reflection tilted its head, just like him, but then it did something impossible. It pulled a phone out of its pocket. The same phone. The ringing phone. It lifted it to its ear and whispered words Liam could not hear at first. Then, slowly, the sound came, like an echo in his head. Time to switch places. The lights went out. Total darkness swallowed the room. Liam spun around blindly, crashing into furniture, searching for the door. But it was gone. His hands touched cold glass. The mirror. He was facing it now, though he didn't remember moving. A pale hand reached out from inside the mirror, pressing against the glass. Then another. Fingers curled around the edge, pulling. The reflection climbed out. Step by step. Its grin never faded. Liam screamed and tried to run, but his feet wouldn't move. The cold surface behind him sucked him in like water. The last thing he saw before the darkness closed in was his own face walking away. Liam's scream echoed, but no sound came out. His voice was gone. His body felt weightless, like he was sinking into ice-cold water. When his eyes opened again, everything was wrong. He was standing inside a glass room. A perfect reflection of his apartment, but silent and colorless, like an old photograph. The walls shimmered faintly, like the surface of a mirror. He ran to the window, but there was nothing outside. Just endless black. He pounded on the glass until his fists hurt, but no sound came out. No one could hear him. Then he saw it on the other side of the glass, in the real world. Himself. The other Liam. His reflection. Walking around like nothing happened. Picking up the phones. Smiling. "No, no, please," Liam shouted, but the words didn't escape his mouth. His reflection looked straight at him and raised a hand in a small wave. That grin stretched wide, almost tearing its face. The reflection answered one of the phones and spoke, clear and cold. "Hello?" "He's gone now." Liam slammed his fists against the glass, screaming soundlessly. The reflection ignored him and sat down on the couch, living his life like it always belonged to him. Then the second phone inside Liam's prison started ringing. The sound was sharp, echoing in the empty space. Liam turned slowly. There it was on the floor, glowing in the darkness. The same phone. His name on the screen. Incoming call. Liam Carter. He picked it up with trembling hands and pressed it to his ear. A voice spoke. Calm. Slow. Too close. Ready for round two? The line went dead. The ringing stopped. Then, in the glass, a shadow moved. Something else was in here with him. And then, the phone rang again. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe and watch till the end for more terrifying horror stories every week. Your support helps us bring you the scariest tales.